This video is a follow-on from the Fun Stamp tutorial. Now it could be used for a scrapbook page or an introduction to a slideshow. Now we go to File and New, and I need to use the template, larger template, so I choose 1024 by 768. Click OK. Over in the channels dialog, I click on the patterns. I choose the pine one and just drag it into the work area and let it go. That saves having to go to the bucket fill tool. Now go to colours, brightness and contrast, and move the brightness right up so it looks like a faded postcard. Click OK. Now I go to File and Open as a layer. Now I open the postage stamp we made from the last tutorial. Click on that one and open as a layer. I go to the Move tool, click the radio button, move the active layer and move it into the area up the top there. Because the layer is only a very small one, I need to make a new one, so I click on that icon there, make a new layer, transparency, click OK. Now I go to my Path tool, click in there once, move it across to the other side and click again, about 1.5 inches by the visual. Now I need to make it a wriggly line, so I choose about 1/3 of the way along and pull it down and push that one up around about there. Now I'll just press Enter and that selects the path. I go to Edit and I stroke path. I need to stroke it for about 5, so I bring that one down and stroke. Now I'll go to my rectangle selection tool and make a selection around that path. Go to Edit and I cut it out of there because I want to use that as an area once again later on. Now I go to Select and I turn that selection off. Now whenever you put it on the clipboard, either through a cutout or a copy, it always makes it a temporary brush. So I click that area there, that's my temporary brush. I come over to the brush tool, click on the brush. Now it's far too small, so I need to bring it up to around about 220. It's around about right. Now I can move the spacings up to possibly 40, make it 30. Click in there once. Now hold the move down just below the stamp, push the Shift key and you click again. That gives me those wriggly lines. Now I'll go over to my Path dialog and click on the tab and click that little icon there, which makes the selection of that path once again. I go to my text tool and type in there the location of the stamp. And also the date. Now I made it an old date because it's an older type of stamp. Now I go to Layers and I click on Text Along Path. That puts the text along the path. I come back to my normal Layers dialog and delete that text, put it in the waste bin. Now I go back to the Path dialog and click on that little icon there. That selects the text path. I come over here to Edit and I click on Fill with foreground color, which is black. I go to Select and select None. Now I'll come over back to my Path dialog and turn the eye off. Now I have that text all nice and clear. I bring it back into the Layers dialog. I go and select the rectangular selection tool and select around that. Now I cut that out. I cut it out and now I go and post it back in. It makes it a nice little posted layer. I make it a complete layer by clicking that icon there. I go to my Move tool, I got my move the active layer radio button checked and just move it into the areas round about there so it fits the wriggly line acceptance. I right click the top layer and flatten image. That brings them all together. Now I need some guidelines. I go to the top and drag a guideline down around about there, and go to the left hand side and do the same. Just click on that little ruler and drag the guideline out. Now I go down here to the paint dialog and I click on that little tiny paintbrush there. It's a very tiny dot. I select my paintbrush, and now it's far too big because of our last text, and I'll move it down to around about 6 pixels. Move it up, too fast. Click in there once, hold the shift key down, let the mouse button go and move it across to the cross lines. Click. Now just move it down below a fraction. Click in there once, hold the shift key down, let the mouse button go and move it down to the bottom. Now I don't need the guidelines anymore, so I'll go to Image, Guides and remove all guides. To save time on the video, I have some text selected. So I'll click on the my text tool and open the text. I go to highlight the text, go to Edit and Copy, pull it down out of the way, go over to the text tool and choose a text which I feel is like a handwritten one. Click in there. I go into the area and click once. Now the normal go to Edit and Paste won't work, so you need to use the control keys. You hit the control key and V on the keyboard and it puts our text in there. Now I'll move the text up to a reasonable size so it fits the text area. Now I'll click on the other side and put some text over in there. This is the text tool. Now this will be the text for the postage area, so I'll click on that one there, go to Edit and copy that to the clipboard, close that down, click in there and then Control V once again and puts the text in there. Now I'll go to the top layer and flatten image, brings it all together. Now I'll go and put some more text in there, so I click on the text layer and type in a trademark like where you purchased the card. So I just type in purchase from the Australian Post, and that should be okay. Now I choose a text that will suit that, so I come down and pick a reasonably bold text. Weddings, that one will do me. And then I just put in card, Australia postcard. Now I'll go to my perspective tool and just click in there and make it like a trademark type of acceptance. Just go to the move tool now and just move that into an area where you feel it should be. Right click the top layer and flatten image. Now there's quite a few steps in this particular tutorial, so I suggest you go to the link below and get a hard copy of this on the website listed below.